A broke guy named Wesley opens his computer one day to find a whopping $3.7 million deposited in his account. But before he even has time to celebrate, his boss shows up and starts piling on the usual workplace bullying.
And I can't wait to start checking me off some big boxes. Attitude. 4. Performance. 4.
Day after day, Wesley endures his boss's relentless insults, until finally, he snaps.
Shut the up!
His outburst draws the attention of everyone in the office. Wesley grabs his boss's stapler and smashes it, declaring he's done with it all.
Yourself.
As he storms out, a co-worker who's been secretly messing with his personal life offers a high five. Wesley shuts him down with a quick punch instead. Wesley works a dead-end office job, where he's easygoing to a fault, putting up with everything, even ignoring co-workers who mess with his personal life. But what he doesn't know is that his dad was actually a top-tier assassin who abandoned him as a child. On this very day, however, his father's life is in danger. As his father tries to escape, he dashes through an elevator shaft not to run, but to gain speed for his next move. In a jaw-dropping stunt, he launches himself from a skyscraper toward a sniper's perch in a nearby building, pulling his gun mid-air and eliminating the sniper with a single shot. In a rapid series of moves, he takes down 3 more, before finally losing momentum and crashing down to another floor. But he's not done yet. Before the last sniper even reacts, Wesley's father is already behind him. Just then, the phone rings. It's the ambusher calling, saying a final goodbye to Wesley's father. Sensing something's off, Wesley's dad looks down and realizes he's on a marked spot. A sniper, miles away, takes him out in one fatal shot, having masterminded the entire ambush from afar. Meanwhile, Wesley endures his boss's relentless torment, living a stifling, oppressive life, unaware that his father's death is about to change everything. That night, Wesley heads to the ATM to withdraw some cash, but he can't even take out $10. As he's shopping in a supermarket, the assassin who killed his father appears, watching him intently. Just then, a mysterious woman appears at Wesley's side and drops a bombshell. His father is dead, and his killer is right behind him. Before Wesley can process this, he's tackled to the ground as the woman and the assassin engage in a shootout. Terrified, Wesley tries to escape, but the woman grabs him, forcing him back down. She then loads her weapon, taking careful aim at the assassin, who immediately fires back, narrowly missing Wesley's head. Panicking, Wesley bolts out of the store. The assassin, now driving a truck, barrels straight toward him. At the last second, the woman saves Wesley in a Ferrari. But the assassin won't give up and speeds after them. In a desperate move, she breaks her own car window, jams the accelerator with a fire extinguisher, and tells Wesley to steer while she climbs out of the car to return fire. Just as she's about to take out the assassin, a bus suddenly pulls in between them. The assassin then performs an unbelievable gun-fu move, blowing out the Ferrari's tires. Police start to swarm and block off the road, so the woman scrambles back inside and takes control of the car, pulling off a series of wild maneuvers to finally lose the assassin. Exhausted, Wesley drifts off to sleep. By now, the Ferrari is beat up, looking more like a tractor, which leaves a bystander gaping in disbelief. When Wesley wakes up, he finds himself in an unfamiliar location, surrounded by a group of strange individuals. He tries to escape, but the woman from before appears and blocks his path. Then, a man named Mr. Sloan steps forward. Without saying a word, he hands Wesley a gun and orders him to shoot the wings off a fly nearby. Wesley is bewildered, but suddenly feels the barrel of a gun pressed to the back of his head. The man behind him warns, "If you can't do it, I'll pull the trigger." The pressure mounts, and Wesley, now desperate, takes the gun and aims. His heartbeat quickens, and to his shock, the fly's movements seem to slow down. Wesley fires and incredibly, he succeeds. 3 flies lose their wings with perfect precision. Mr. Sloan then reveals a bombshell. Wesley's father was a top assassin, and Wesley has inherited the same deadly skills, with heightened perception and reflexes far beyond the average person. Only a handful of people worldwide possess such abilities. Skeptical, Wesley raises his gun at Mr. Sloan, ready to leave. But Mr. Sloan remains calm, explaining that they are part of an elite group called the Fraternity of Assassins. The woman's name is Fox, and everyone here is a trained killer. The gun Wesley holds belonged to his father, who was a member of this organization. Now, all of his father's assets have been transferred to Wesley. Seeing Wesley's potential, Mr. Sloan invites him to join the fraternity to help avenge his father's death. Wesley, doubting the entire story, storms out. Later, as he checks his bank account, he's shocked to see a 7-figure balance. Back at the office, Wesley is in high spirits, watching his hefty new bank balance. Just then, his boss shows up for the usual round of bullying. This time, Wesley's had enough. He lashes out at his boss with a few choice words, then quits on the spot. Feeling liberated, he struts out of the building only to realize he and Fox are now wanted nationwide. As Wesley stands there, uncertain of what to do next, Fox appears, having waited for him all along. Without hesitation, Wesley follows her back to the organization, now determined not to live as just another ordinary guy. Mr. Sloan, pleased with Wesley's resolve, assigns Fox to train him. Wesley's path to becoming a top assassin, however, starts with an unexpected lesson. Taking a beating, after enduring 4 solid punches, he blacks out. When he comes to, Fox promptly throws him into hand-to-hand combat training. His instructor showed no mercy, stabbing Wesley's hand without warning. The intense pain knocks him out again, and he's rushed to the recovery room. With the help of a special medicinal bath, Wesley's injuries healed completely in just a few hours, readying him for the next grueling lesson. Then came shooting practice. Fox placed a pig in front of the target and instructed Wesley to hit the target hidden behind it. Stumped, Wesley wondered how this was even possible until Mr. Sloan stepped up to demonstrate. He fired, and the bullet curved around the pig, striking the target dead on. Wesley was awestruck, while Mr. Sloan, ever the showman, simply told him, "Let your instincts guide you." Next, Fox introduced Wesley to reaction training, where he had to catch a fast-moving shuttle in a weaving machine. Wesley gave it his best, but quickly failed. Frustrated by his repeated failures, he nearly decided to quit. Sensing Wesley's frustration, Mr. Sloan took him to a room where Wesley's father had once lived. To Wesley's amazement, it was decorated identically to his own room back home. Realizing that his father had been secretly watching over him all along, Wesley felt a surge of emotion. Mr. Sloan then revealed information about his father's killer. His name was Cross, a former fraternity member who had betrayed the organization and assassinated Wesley's father from a rooftop. Sloan officially gifted the room to Wesley, who, filled with grief and anger, finally resolved to avenge his father. From then on, Wesley threw himself into training with renewed determination, studying every recorded mission Cross had completed as a fraternity member. Wesley knew that to defeat Cross, he'd have to become his equal, learning each of his tactics and understanding his every move. He noticed that Cross had never missed a target except for the one involving Wesley. Wesley's own progress accelerated. Soon, he surpassed his instructors, even mastering the complex task of grabbing the high-speed shuttle in the weaving machine. With Fox's guidance, Wesley finally conquered the fraternity's ultimate skill, bullet curving. Impressed by his dedication, Mr. Sloan took Wesley to a unique loom, explaining its extraordinary purpose. This loom could predict the names of people destined to commit evil acts, providing all the fraternity's assassination targets. Sloan's job was to interpret these names from the loom's fabric, passing them to the assassins to carry out justice and, in doing so, preserve world peace. With that, Wesley received his first assignment. Fox took him out on the mission, but when Wesley saw his target, he hesitated. Could he really kill someone he knew nothing about? Fox's earlier words echoed in his mind. Killing one person might save 1,000 others. In the end, Wesley went through with it. After successfully completing the task, Wesley wanted to go after Cross, but Mr. Sloan handed him a second assignment instead, saying it wasn't time yet. Reluctantly, Wesley set off again. This new target, however, had bulletproof glass and even taunted Wesley when attacked. Wesley couldn't let that slide. Spotting a weakness, the target's cigar smoke drifting out of an open sunroof, he and Fox executed a coordinated, high-level shot, hitting the mark.
I'm sorry!
Later, as Wesley rested by the roadside, Cross suddenly appeared. Instantly, Wesley ducked behind a car and fired back, but Cross vanished in seconds. Driven by revenge, Wesley chased after him, only for other assassins to arrive as backup. Cross swiftly landed a bullet in Wesley's arm, knocking him out. When Wesley came to, he was back in the recovery room, and from the bullet extracted from his arm, he realized something odd. It was a unique shell, traceable only to Cross. This was no random attack, it was a trap. A taunt meant just for Wesley. Under Wesley's persistent requests, Mr. Sloan finally assigned him the mission to eliminate Cross. Fox voiced her concerns, but Mr. Sloan quickly gave her a new mission to handle as well. Determined, Wesley tracked the bullet's origin to its maker. The maker saw Wesley and instantly took off running, but as soon as Wesley caught up, a gun was pressed to his head. Fortunately, Fox arrived just in time to save him, and the bullet maker reluctantly agreed to set up a meeting with Cross. At the train station, Wesley and Fox waited in a concealed room while their contact lured Cross in. However, a moment's distraction allowed the contact to slip away, and Wesley and Fox immediately gave chase. Cross had already boarded the train. Sensing something off, Wesley grabbed his gun and charged onto the train, with Fox commandeering a car to keep up. Once inside, Wesley spotted Cross, and they immediately exchanged gunfire. A startled passenger ended up between them, forcing both men to use their advanced bullet curving skills, leaving the terrified passenger ducking for cover. Just then, Fox caught up to the train, driving her car straight into it. Smashing through to reunite with Wesley, Cross tried to take out Fox, but Wesley blocked him. As the train entered a tunnel, Fox's exposed car was crushed into the train, causing severe damage and throwing the train off balance. As it exited the tunnel, the train reached a canyon, and suddenly, it derailed. Panicked screams filled the train as the back cars began to break away. After slamming against the mountainside, one car snapped off, plunging into the abyss. With each jolt, more cars broke apart, leaving Wesley clinging to the last car for dear life. A sudden lurch shook him loose, and just as he fell, Cross appeared and saved him, pulling him up. Seeing the chance, Wesley pulled out his gun and shot Cross. Despite the pain, Cross continued to pull Wesley into the car as it slid further, eventually getting wedged between canyon walls. Inside, Wesley struggled to his feet, aiming his gun at Cross again. Finally, Cross had a moment to speak, revealing, "Everything Mr. Sloan told you was a lie. I am your father." Before Wesley could fully process this revelation, Cross passed away. Fox arrived, confirming Cross's words. It was all part of a scheme orchestrated by Mr. Sloan. Mr. Sloan had manipulated Wesley's desire for revenge, knowing Cross would never kill his own son, and thus used Wesley to eliminate Cross. Fox then dropped another bombshell. Wesley's name had appeared on the loons list. Realizing the danger, Wesley shot through the train window, falling into a canyon below. Luckily, he landed in a river, barely surviving. When Wesley woke up, he was in a healing bath, rescued by the bullet maker. Looking at photos and Cross's belongings, Wesley finally accepted that Cross was indeed his father. The bullet maker then revealed the full truth. Cross had been trying to keep Wesley from joining the fraternity, hoping he'd lead a normal life. Cross had even left Wesley as a child to protect him from Mr. Sloan's deadly plans. The bullet maker handed Wesley a mission order Cross had discovered, revealing Mr. Sloan's name. Years ago, Mr. Sloan had begun forging kill orders to serve his own interests. The loom had marked Mr. Sloan as a target, but he retaliated by framing Cross as a traitor, forcing Cross to go rogue. Looking out the window, Wesley saw his home across the way. Realizing Cross had been close by, watching over him all along, determined to finish what his father started, Wesley found an old notebook detailing Cross's plan to destroy the fraternity. Now, it would be Wesley's revenge plan. Wesley stormed the fraternity's base in a truck loaded with explosives. As Mr. Sloan's men attacked, Wesley unleashed 1,000 rats strapped with timed bombs. The explosive rodents spread through the compound, destroying everything, including the loom itself. Wesley then began taking out Sloan's men one by one. When his former pain endurance instructor tried to attack, Wesley shot him on the spot. Finally, Wesley confronted Mr. Sloan, but was quickly surrounded by fraternity assassins. Wesley revealed Sloan's falsified orders and the evidence of his father's innocence, just as Wesley thought he had one. Mr. Sloan made a surprising claim: everyone's name had appeared on the loom at some point, distributing a stack of orders. Sloan argued that if he hadn't altered the assignments, they would all be dead. "I saved your lives," he declared. "If you want to follow the loom's orders, kill yourselves now. If not, kill Wesley and let's reshape the fraternity ourselves." The assassins wavered, guns turning on Wesley until Fox took action. Then, following the loom's command, she stood still, waiting for death. Fox's death enraged Wesley, who chased Mr. Sloan, only to find he had already escaped, leaving the ruins of the fraternity base. Wesley's sense of purpose wavered as he noticed his 7-figure bank account had vanished. Confused and disillusioned, Wesley returned to office life as an ordinary employee. But one day, a gun was aimed at him again. It was Mr. Sloan, back to finish the job. However, the Wesley before him was just a decoy, and as Sloan looked down, he saw a mark beneath him, realizing too late. Sloan was taken out by a sniper's bullet.
This is back control of my life.